model making is such an amazing hobby, full of creativity and mindfulness. Yet people keep saying young people, or just generally new people, are not getting into the hobby. And why? I think really we should be asking a different question. What are people doing to get into the hobby? And today we're exploring an event held by Captain VFC, which was Sprues Booze. This event was held at a local pub in Norwich, in Norfolk. And well, we'll also look at my general adventures around Norfolk whilst I was there too, but explore what this event was and why I think it was so great. And well, you can see people really had fun drinking and making some model kits, so let's get into it. Hey guys, it's model making time, and today we're talking about my trip to Norfolk, more specifically Norwich and the surrounding area. If you're new here, I'm Ms Modeler, and I'm here to talk about how, well, you don't need to be god tier to enjoy this hobby, because I'm just your average model maker. Today we're mostly looking at an event called Sprues Booze, and well, I'll let VFC explain it.
Hello, I am Captain VFC here outside Beer Hatch in Norwich, where we have members of the public. We have a special event going on if you want to come this way. Inside here we have Sprues Booze, which is a lovely little event where you can come and you can make scale models. You can build yourself a beautiful Airfix red arrow with everything that you need to get an end result. We've got a mix of colours for creativity for those that want, and perhaps the other two good bits about the night is that whilst you're here you can chat, you can make friends, and you can grab yourself a beer.
So I just tried to get footage of people doing it without having their faces too involved. And whilst everyone consented to it, I just felt a little bit weird putting everyone's faces in. But I wanted to show you how everyone took such different approaches. Some people cut all the parts off straight away and just built it, and I'm like, that is my approach. Some people were really careful, took every part off, sanded every part, and really took their time. Other people just followed the instructions and, you know, took their time with it. And some people finished within, you know, an hour and a half or so. And one person stayed right up until closing, which was so lovely to see someone take so much time and passion with their model. Some people painted in the colours we would expect, and others didn't. There were some areas which I felt people struggled with, and that was like decals, for example. And I went round and helped a few people learn the easiest way to slide them off, how to move them, what things to use to move them around. And I also gave away my decals to help someone repair them. And people developed their own techniques, like dipping the heads of pilots into the paint pots to do the helmets, and for their feet as well. And it was just so lovely to see brand new people get into this hobby. And I'm so happy that I got to go and be that with VFC, because I was down there to see him anyway and just see one of my best friends. And you can see some of the finished results here. So we had like a camo hawk, we had this one which doesn't quite show in the picture, but it's like a neon glow in the dark pink. And then we had other ones like this, which I think is like kind of a racing hawk, and this was done by a couple. So they had a counterpart which had like black stripes on it and a black nose, which again, to me, they're like two racing aircraft and they look lush. And then we had another couple here, which was a bright pink one again, and then one in sort of just the red arrows standard scheme. And someone else here who actually spent a lot of time on theirs, tried to do panel lining, and they're taking it home to finishing it. And this is the person who stayed right up until the finish to do the exact box one, and it looks lovely. And I think one of the things that's worth talking about is what events really are there to get people into the hobby that are, you know, in their 30s, in their 40s, well, even in their 20s, you know, people who are already adults, because, you know, you go to a lot of modelling events and there are stuff aimed at kids, like Airfix do lots of kid build events, and then you might have, but you don't really have anything that's designed for adults necessarily to get into it. Whereas you might have local model clubs, I would argue the majority of people who do that are already people who are into modelling. And that's why I think this event's so interesting. Speaking to people at this event, whilst everyone agreed to be on camera, but I didn't really feel comfortable putting everyone in it. But
speaking to people there and VOC speaking to people there, like everyone seemed really into it. Some of them might have had some modelling experience when they were much, much younger, or they might have done similar things like wargaming, but most of them hadn't done an Airfix kit before or a similar kit. And I would say at least half of the people there were really passionate about doing it again in the future, and everyone there wanted to do the event again. So I think this sort of event is a really fantastic way to get new people into the hobby who haven't touched an Airfix kit, well, really, probably at all their adult life. And it just goes to show that not everyone who does modelling is going for hyperrealism or for like that super accurate effect. They might just be wanting to build something that they can be creative with, and I think that's beautiful. I don't know if I'll be able to go to the next event because it took me 7 hours to get home, so you know, it is what it is. And for me, it was more of an excuse to go see one of my closest friends when I'm going through quite a lot and sort of just need to be surrounded by friendship and love. But if I can make the next one, I will. I'm just not super confident I will be able to, but I really hope it's as successful as the first one. One of the other things I always wanted to check off my bucket list was visiting one of the biggest modelling retailers in the country, which is Hanat's. Now, many people are very familiar with their red and yellow branding, and whilst I do see them at Scale Model World every year, I've never been able to visit their store/warehouse. It's really weird when you go there because it feels like you're breaking and entering. You literally walk in, sign the book, and then you just walk around. It's a bit weird, but in a really cool way, because we spent, I think, about an hour there just walking around, looking at all these kits, and it was really nice to be able to see them in person, because whilst you're looking online, you're like, oh, maybe, maybe not. But I ended up buying quite a lot of things that I'd been umming and ahhing about for quite some time. There was one thing that unfortunately, when I got to the point of purchasing my models, had already been committed online, which meant I couldn't take it, but that's okay because there was something else I wanted that Hanat's currently don't stock that I might get instead. But whilst I say that, their stock is insane. They are one of the best places to pick up kits from really weird manufacturers or things that you just might not even think about. They also have a second-hand range, though, that is much smaller. And of course, well, I mean, quite frankly, when you're at Hanat's, you're probably going for the newer, weirder stuff anyway. So let's have a look at what I got. One of the first things is this Aeromarque MB339 from KP Models from Kozavody Prosteyov. I can never say that name right. The main reason I bought this one is because it's got New Zealand markings, and they did a brief stint in an aerobatic team for New Zealand flying the MB339, so I wanted to do it for ages, and this gave me a perfect excuse. The second thing I got was this Fokker S11, something I actually started building like over 3 years ago when it came out originally. That's quite depressing. But I started doing this after I did my Fokker Mat Trainer. That was the first resin kit I ever did, and I was really proud of the 2 videos I did on that. Please go check them out. They have not got the view count I want for them, but I love them and I really want to do this too. So I'm really excited I'll get to actually finally build this beautiful aircraft. And again, this is also in a display team, a civilian one now, that fly several of these aircraft. They're adorable, and Fokker is so overlooked post like World War I, so I'm here to represent it. I also got this Old Models, which is actually by Sabre Models, and this is a Gloucester Pioneer. So obviously a really important aircraft in British aviation history, or I guess even really global aviation history, for the transition to jet aircraft. This is, well, as the name suggests, an old kit. So these are normally frog kits that have been reprinted, and well, it was like $7.99, so I mean, it's a bargain, and I've wanted to do one for ages. They sell for much more online, like the old frog ones, and I'm not bothered about the branding. It's just being able to build the aircraft. I did pick up a Firefly originally as well, and I picked that back because I decided to spend my money on other things that I really wanted. And I mean, the Airfix Firefly, even though also still being quite old, is meant to be much better. So yeah. This SF260 double pack is another one that I have tried to do a couple of times. Originally, I started doing the Checkmaster resin one, or I think it's Checkmaster, it might be Planet Models resin one, which I was doing years and years ago, like well over a decade ago, and I never finished it. And then when I did my Red Devil series, or Diablo Rouges, I did the Hawker Hunter, I did the Fuga Magister, and I never got around to finishing my SF260. And I had to get the double set because it's the only one that comes with the decals. So I'm definitely going to do this one, and I will be able to finally put an end to my Red Devils series, which I'm really excited for. This one's like the most emotional one for me, is this LF Models Alouette 3, because it comes with a Maltese marking. Now, many of you will know that Malta is like my happiest place on earth. I love visiting Malta, and whilst I'm not here to go into like the politics of Malta or anything, it's just somewhere where I built so many happy and wonderful memories, and it's where my channel, I guess, really got its proper start, was when I did like a vlog visiting Malta and the air show. And during that air show, they had an Alouette that held the Maltese flag below it. So now I have the decals for Malta, because no one makes Maltese decals really. I'm really excited to be able to build this, and maybe even try and do a diorama of it holding the flag and do it in a flying pose, because I think that would be lovely. I might even try and do it in a magnetized way so I can have it sitting on a shelf, but also do it in a flying pose. This will go really well with my Islander that I bought fairly recently at Cosford Air Show, which I'm also planning to do in Maltese colours. So I'm really, really excited by this. Whilst I was in Norwich though, I decided to visit Norwich Aviation Museum, which had been on my bucket list for quite a long time. So I was really glad to get a flying visit at the museum. So let's go and have a look.
Whilst I was in the area, I visited the City of Norwich Aviation Museum too, something I've wanted to visit for a long time, but because it's so far away, never had the opportunity. So whilst I was with BSC, just before I had my long drive home, we went to see it. There are some older exhibits, and I chose not to film most of the sort of written part of the museum because I think you should go see it for yourself, but I couldn't resist this light in action Lancaster here. But of course the main stars are the aircraft outside, and they have a fantastically beautiful example of a Vulcan that you can see if you're driving towards Norwich from the north anyway. Sort of on the side of the road, you can just see it poking over, and it's such a good advertisement for the museum and a well-kept example, contrasting it as this Harrier undergoing restoration, which actually looks quite unique in its current state. We do, of course, have one of my favourite aircraft, which is the Nimrod, the Hawker Siddeley Nimrod, which sadly should have been in place of the P8 Poseidon, but MR4 never really got going. So we have a few in museums, but this is one of the best examples because you can take photos of it so well because it's not crowded like a lot of the other examples are. It is simply one of the best aircraft. I love it so much. I have a model of it and I'm too scared to make it, but this is encouraging me. Like Coventry Air Museum, there is a Saudi Lightning in its all-metal shiny finish, which looks fantastic, and there is a nod to Norwich's own history with Air UK, and inside the museum itself there's a lovely area dedicated to Air Anglia 2, which looks fabulous. There's an all-metal, bare metal should I say, Dassault Mystère 4 here too, which of course I love as a French lover, and we have a BA 146 or Avro RJ here, and again this is something that was used in the area at times and actually was recently used by Kinetic and the Royal Flight until very recently. Of course, we have a beautiful example of a Jaguar 2, which the Jaguar is just such a fantastically beautiful aircraft. Hard to believe at one point this was considered for a trainer before becoming the iconic strike aircraft that it became. We do also have this Hawker Hunter, which is in a...
It's time to prime.
Yeah, thanks Model Minutes. It's definitely in a primed state right here. But I'm sure this will end up looking absolutely beautiful once it's fully restored and repainted. And we have a Meteor, of course, too. How could you have a museum without Meteor? There's also a couple of cockpits around the airport too, including a replica of a Whirlwind cockpit from World War II. And there's also other cockpits, including the F4 Phantom, Buccaneer, and there is a front nose section of a all-weather interceptor Meteor as well.
Of course, whilst I was in the area, I did want to visit the coast too, because well, I always like going to as far away as you can to see the sea from different points of the UK. So at least I got to go to the beach, nearly have my fish cake stolen by a seagull, and just enjoy the general vibe of Norfolk. It's somewhere I've wanted to go for a long time, but due to how far away I am, because I live much further north, it's just never been possible. So I was really glad to see it. So that was my trip around Norfolk, and I loved it. It was such a wonderful time. Norwich is such a vibrant and lovely city, and it's somewhere I've always wanted to visit. And it was really cool seeing somewhere that's so different to where I live currently, just up north. Captain PSE is one of my closest friends and one of the people I really got to know when I got my start in model making. He's always been there for me through thick and thin, and whilst I'm going through this fairly difficult time in my life at the moment, he is someone who remains one of my closest friends and supporting me, and it was nice to just spend some time in person with him, have a drink, catch up, and just talk about everything that's going on right now. It really meant the world to me, so special thank you to him, and also congratulations on hosting such a unique but also fantastic event. It was nice to be there, even though I was fairly quiet and just sat there for most of it, because that's how I am at the moment. It was really lovely. And I wish you all the success in the future, especially as your channel is really taking off at the moment. If you like what you've seen here today and want to be kept up to date with the latest and greatest videos, then make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video as well, and leave a comment down below. Would you do an event like this if it was hosted near you? If you want to support the channel more for me making really silly purchases at places like Hannah's, or just traveling around to different model shows and different events, then you can become a channel member down below. Just hit that join button, or you can do it off platform over on Ko-fi/Ko-fi, however you wish to say it, where you can also do a one-off donation. Doing monthly donations on either allows you to become a starter kit or advanced kit level member. The only difference is advanced kits get shouted out at the end of each video because they're such cuties. And well, if you want to help on mobile, once you're done leaving that comment, swipe over and hype the video too. If you want to join a lovely community of model makers as well, you can join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. It's just a really lovely, friendly place where you can share your finished creations or your latest projects. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for watching the videos. You can see all the lovely starter kit and advanced kit level members here who have helped support the channel. A big shout out goes to my advanced kit level members, including Taggers365, Star Trek Props and Models, Bobby G, Dafty Duck, Bob and Genevieve Albridge, David Barber, Jeff Dioramas, and the two longest supporters of advanced kit level members, that's Explosive Water and Crazy Locha, who has given a load more donations of more advanced kit level members. So thank you so much for your support over the time. It really does make a world of difference. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, make sure to subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date with my latest and greatest videos, including live streams, which I aim to do, well, 1 to 3 times a week, depending on my availability. And here's a recommended video for you. Bye!